Hey everybody, it's Uncle Doug, Aunt Cindy, coming to you from the basement of the ministry house here in Kansas City. It's February the 2nd, it's about 11 o'clock at night. We had the zoning hearing with the zoning, planning and zoning board this evening. It was fairly 3 hours of ugly. People bring up points about sewer or water or sewage or whatever, but particularly a lawyer that was hired by some of the neighbors did it in such a snarky, condescending way that you just about have to call it demonic, or he's just a jerk, which is entirely possible, I guess. He twisted the code this way and that. He bluffed in places. It was quite a stage presence, really, because he's like, "Oh, I shouldn't even have to mention this," as if he'd won his point when he didn't actually say anything about that at all. Or he would bring up something like fire hydrants, which we'd already addressed that we're going to have a fire hydrant or whatever, or that we're not on city services when we are on city services on the water service and stuff like that. It just he got paid to say something that would try to sway the board, and he did. He twisted stuff, and I don't mind lawyering, and I understand debate where you take a position you might not agree with, but you have to argue it anyway and use whatever you got. And the fact is, he didn't have anything good. There wasn't any good ammo, so he grasped at straws to throw some flack up to try and obfuscate. And I guess he earned his money, but I don't think I could sleep with myself if I were doing that, and I certainly don't want to hire a lawyer to act like that on our behalf just to win the day. Could have done that. Talked to one. I think he would have been more honest, and I think we're on the right side of this anyway. But when it was all said and done, the commission members wanted more information about the septic system engineering, about the water engineering, and staff tried to explain to them, even the county council tried to explain to them, this is not the stuff for this meeting. This is a preliminary conceptual hearing for the rezoning, the planned unit development overlay with all the science of it. That's the next hearing after this. That's when you get all of this stuff. And we even offered to make the rezone contingent on everything at the next hearing being satisfactory. And then one of the members voted motion to just deny the thing because of insufficient information. And 4 out of 5 agreed, 1 dissented. And that was that. So we go before the county commission, and I have to explain to them that the planning and zoning board did not do its job correctly. Even the staff is like, I've never seen them do that. That's not what I expected. It was 50-50 that vote for it or against it, but not that way. Not because they wanted information that was available that I had already provided, but staff didn't give them because it's for the next hearing, not for this hearing. What was that, Cindy? Come on, you got to talk to. We're trying to train her to get into this world of videos and stuff, so you guys can get more of a flavor of her beautiful, unique wisdom. Anyway, so we took a few of our folks, and they were there praying, and at a certain point, I said, look, we're a church. We're here to stay. You're not going to run us off. We're going to do what we're going to do, and we're going to get this done. And the whole audience was like, rah, 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 rah. And it was real obvious. This isn't about sewers and water. This is about us, and that people don't want us in their neighborhood. We've told them it's not a rehab. It's not a homeless shelter. It's not going to be whatever. It doesn't make any difference. Just us is bad enough. So, I don't know. I don't know where we go from here. We're not done. The staff, who are the professionals, who know the code better than anybody, who went through it with us for over the course of months, lots of meetings, lots of questions, they voted that it should be approved. This board of appointed people voted to deny it because of lack of information that they had, which zoning did have. Excuse me.
That didn't give to them.
And was satisfied with, but hadn't given them. So we both go before the commission in 2 or 3 weeks. With the information there, they could still vote against it, but I need to stress to them that this is the rezoning hearing, not the PUD hearing. All the science, all the specifics, all the engineering, all of that stuff is for the next go-round, not the initial go-round. And even then, when we submit, we pay all of our engineers, submit all of our stuff, promise to spend all of this money on roads and infrastructure and whatever. Then we have to pay their engineer to look it all over and make sure it's okay. Whew. Anyway, and then could get voted down having paid our engineers and their engineers. The good news is that they have denied the quiet enjoyment of our property. They have refused to let us use our property as we see fit. And I believe they have discriminated against us personally as a church and as a group. And all of that bodes well for our cause. So, as far as that goes, the more vicious and ugly Satan can be, the better. And the more people want to act out and not be polite, not be Christ-like, the better. Anyway, so we persevere. It's all part of the plan. And there's other stuff. We just spent a week with Shane out here from Washington. He is feeling called by God to come take care of the farm side of everything, so I don't have to be distracted from the things I need to be doing, like making videos and writing books and preaching, to deal with chickens. As much as I kind of like the idea of chickens and goats and bunnies, and have done research, and I know that it's something that needs to happen. Shane has been running a farm out on the West Coast for about 10 years, and watching our videos. And when we got a farm, God said, everything you've been learning was practice for that. And you're supposed to pack up everything and your wife and your kid and go to Liberty and take your goats and your ducks and your bunnies and your quail and your chickens and whatever, and go to Liberty and run Doug's farm and be a part of that and teach people how to do it so Doug doesn't have to slow down and do that. Anyway, so he was here for about a week. Loves the land. Lots of opportunities. Lots of places to do amazing things out there. And all of that is independent of the village, which, even if we got approval tonight, we got to go through the commission in 3 weeks. Then we got to go through the PUD and all the engineering with that. If that could even come together by next month, which might not, depending on how many studies and surveys and whatevers they want, and where the money's going to come from to do all of that. And then we have to build all the infrastructure first. And it all has to be just right. Roads, water, electric, sewer, put everything in. Then start building the houses before we can get occupancy. Parking lots, all of that has to be put in. Point after point tonight, the commission would say, yeah, what about? And I'm like, okay, here. here's how. Oh, yeah, okay. And then it just wasn't rational. It really didn't feel rational, the decision to table it when we offered alternatives like pushing all our chips onto the table and saying if this does not pass the PUD, then no rezone, no nothing, waive it all. But let's bet on that we're going to solve these technical problems by the next go around, which is when those are supposed to be solved. No, no.
The reports are supposed to be given at that meeting.
Yeah, all the technical reports are for the next meeting, not this meeting. And I'm hoping we can get the commission to see that. And then we'll go around again. Same committee, same commission with the technical stuff. And fire suppression experts, water studies, all of this stuff. And there's places we could move where nobody would ask for anything. I mean, there's counties, 2 counties from here. I mean, half an hour away, 45 minutes away. No building codes, no zoning, no nothing, could do whatever. But they don't have a cave. And God says here. So we fight it out here. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still grateful we're not doing this in the city of Liberty. All things considered, I'd still rather be in the county than in the city. But it shouldn't be this hard. And the funny thing is, the thing that makes it less hard is more money. And it shouldn't be like that either. If you roll up in there with lawyers and Rolexes and suits, see, I'm a big developer. I want to build 300 houses here. County jump all over it. That's a lot of revenue. Excelsior might even like it. Widen the road a little bit, put a stoplight. You're their best friend ever. Neighbors wouldn't, but, you know. But you try to do something on faith. You try to do something to take care of people. Try to do the right thing. Try to be a church. Man, it's going to be a fight, I guess. Anyway. We know that this is what the Lord wants done. We know that this is part of the plan, and that it's going to bring Him glory one way or another. And we know that we're going to fight this out. And there are various strategies from here how to move forward. If the commission says no, but I'm hoping they'll see through what I think is a wrong-headed avoidance decision by the Planning and Zoning Board. I think they had 100 angry people in the room looking at them, and they didn't want to vote in favor of it in front of all those people. I really think they were just looking for a way out, and we provided one. We did. We provided one. If I can't get the engineering done to pass the next round where it's supposed to be, then waive the rezone. And you know, that they didn't want to do that either. So that the crowd wouldn't have understood that. That would have still felt like a loss. And even though we're doing everything, even though we pay the engineers, we do all of this stuff, we get DNR approval, which trumps everybody locally. The state Department of Natural Resources trumps the health department, trumps zoning, trumps everything. Doesn't matter. They're determined to not have us in their neighborhood. And I don't know them. I didn't run background checks on them. I don't know which one of them is molesting their kid or kicking their dog. I'm not sure I want to live in a neighborhood with them. But we're willing to take our chances, even though they're busybodies and angry, not in my backyarders. We're still willing to love them and try to show the light of Jesus to them. Anyway, looking forward to seeing what comes next. We got 2 or 3 weeks, 20 days to get ready for the commission hearing. I don't know if I'll just go and speak or if we'll have a lawyer or what we need to do there. Um, but I know God's going to win one way or another. And, there's options. We can do tiny houses on wheels and they can all, you know, just, you know, I'm looking for the word that I can use there that nobody will complain about. But kick rocks. They can all kick rocks. And anyway, so there's options, but we're going to occupy that land one way or another sooner or later. So, but we're determined to try and do it the right way and follow the rules and play by their whatevers and see what happens. I just wish it wasn't so adversarial and ugly. But you set your hand to do something really big for the Lord, to make a difference, to put something in place to care for lots of people. The enemy's going to try and stop it every which way possible. So it's not for lack of us doing the due diligence. It's not for sorry, that was probably really loud. It's not for lack of us spending the money on engineers and doing the paperwork and getting the approvals. But even so, they wanted a way out because there was a lot of people angry in the room. But numbers shouldn't be the deciding factor on a person's rights. They have removed our ability, our right to the quiet enjoyment of our property, and told us that we cannot do what we want to do on our property. And there's a pretty good chance they're going to have to buy that property from us since we can't do what we want to do on that property. And maybe we'll just take the money and go buy something else. Or maybe the threat of that will get them to see the problem here. And we'll see. I don't know. It seems like I never expect navigating the systems of this world to go well in godly terms. But I know that it says the righteous will win in court. And I've been in court several times for other things. And there'll be setback after setback after setback. And then when it really, really matters at the last minute, the Lord wins. And I think that's kind of what we're seeing with Alicia and James. They're here. They, yeah, we're going to do an update with them later. But she's without her 2-year-old, who's back with grandma for 6 months. Guardian ad litem says if you get a job, don't rely on the ministry, get an apartment, 6 months, he'll root for them to get their kid back. But in 6 months, the kid's got a pretty established residency with the mom, and maybe they're going to argue that the kid shouldn't be moved. I don't know how it's going to go. And we're betting on God doing something to the mom to where the issue's forced. To me, that's the Lord. Not waiting until the court resolves everything, but God moving in such a way that the court doesn't have a say in it anymore. And it's just a done deal, and it has to go that way. And I'm not sure. A guy online that I know that said March 9th there's going to be an air war, and Russia and China are going to attack the United States, and the dollar's not going to be worth anything, and it'll be the collapse of everything. And at that point, I don't think zoning matters. So if he's right, March 10th, we'll just move on to the land because if there's an end of rule of law, I'm not. Who cares? I don't know. There's all kinds of things God can do. And but it really feels like this is something that he's really, really determined about. And I don't know where all the money's going to come from for the infrastructure. I don't know where the money comes from for next month's bill sometimes. But he's always faithful, and he makes a way. And I try the best I can to be a good steward of it all, and I know he's a good dad, and I believe this is going to get done. It's a beautiful piece of land. I wish brother gave me a. I'd prayed. I'd prayed for a drone with a camera on it. Not like a drone with a missile on it, just just a little drone with a camera that I could fly over the property and take pictures of stuff. And I didn't really tell anybody except her. And birthday came and went, and Christmas came and went. And money went for other things, and and then a week or so ago, a brother gave me this little cool little drone that you run with your smartphone. But my smartphone wasn't smart enough to run it. So Cindy lost her phone. So we went and rotated my phone to her phone, and I got another phone at my friend Elijah's used phone place that could run the drone. So God somehow is always faithful and beautiful. So anyway, I'm hoping in the next week or two to maybe practice with the little drone. And it's still not green yet, and it's not as pretty as it will be. But Cindy and Shane walked the whole perimeter of the property. We got a fence all the way around, and we're going to try and hack some stuff away from the fence so we can get it and repair it so it'll hold in cattle or goats or whatever. And even it's a little gray right now, but it'd be real pretty. So I'm hoping to get some footage with the drone and show you some more of the property here pretty soon. Anyway, that's probably long enough. Thank you all. I guess I mean, there's plenty of videos out there of folks like Baker's Green Acres and other folks that are fighting the government. The guys out in Bend, Oregon, or Burns, Oregon, right now, and I'm not taking a side politically one way or another whether what they're doing is right. I just know that there's a lot of people disgruntled with the government processes and the seeming ease with which they'll take away your kid, take away your land, take away your rights, take away whatever, take away your life, and make no apologies and justify it all as a perfectly reasonable thing to have done. Anyway, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to get worse, and we're going to have to put our trust in God and know that God's going to get us through. And if He wants to change what we're doing and modify it and have a different kind of farm or have a different whatever, God can do that. But I'm going to do everything I can to resist having to obey man and what man wants me to be doing or not doing. It's tempting to get online and look for property 3 counties over where we could do whatever we want. And people would still come. They would come to get prayer wherever. I could move to Corsicana, Texas, and people would still come wanting to visit. Anyway, it's a temptation, but I really feel like this is where we're supposed to be, and this is the piece of land God wanted for us, and I saw favor every step of the way to get onto that property. And I'm not inclined to bow to the fear or the pressure to even go look and see what properties are out there that would be less money, less hassle, less whatever. We could throw up yurts and domes and mud houses and whatever. If we were up there with Dancing Rabbit and some of those intentional communities, there's no accident that there's 4 or 5 intentional communities in Rutledge, Missouri, because the county's got no standards, no codes, no building inspections, no nothing. You just free for all, and people aren't dying and houses collapsing on them. There's a motivation for yourself to build something that's safe, and the government is on this runaway express train of telling you what's good for you and what you can and can't do, and what kind of chemical you need in your water and what kind of this and that and whatever. Anyway, um, so I don't know. I don't know. We got a couple 3 weeks and we'll figure out where we're going to go from there and see how that hearing goes. And we could resubmit the whole application with modifications to the density, with modifications to the rezone area, with you know whatever, and try it all again. But if it's just personal and they're going to make it political and they're going to pass the buck instead of doing the right thing in front of people and letting down angry neighbors that are misinformed and whatever, um, I don't know. Then we look for loopholes. Or then we call the Justice Department and file a religious land use discrimination case and see how that goes. All we ever wanted was to be able to live on our land and be a church, and they have consistently treated us like some big giant developer wanting to build a giant subdivision, and I don't know. I don't know how it should go exactly. I understand their concerns. I understand health and safety issues and wanting to have fire alarms and wanting to make sure that the fire truck can get in there. But this isn't what they're doing right now. That hearing was not really on the surface. Okay, it's about wastewater and whatever, but really, no. It's about we don't want you around. We want you to go somewhere else. NIMBYs, not in my backyard. But it's more than that. Could be a mosque wanted to open up. They're going to have to decide. Some of them served in the military and fought and died for people's freedom, and then they're at a meeting trying to take ours away because they don't like us. I don't think that's right. Anyway, that's it for now. Please keep praying. I know God's going to win. You get a look at it. We recorded the hearing. I don't know if you want to watch it. It's like 3 hours of nasty, but it's on 2 or 3 different phones, so it'll take me a day or two to collect all the footage, edit it together, and get it out there where you can watch it if you want to. I'm not recommending spending your time that way. Go feed the poor, but there's a couple places in there where it's real obvious how it's good target practice if you want to practice discernment and see where demons are operating and whatever. It's good target practice because there was a mocking spirit on that lawyer and some other just nasty stuff flying around the room. Anyway, for those of you that believe in demons, and if you don't, then I'm just speaking allegorically. Anyway, that's all for now. God bless you all. And if you were at the hearing and you were being snarky, and we forgive you. I'd rather you didn't. God keeps track of all of it. All we want is to do good. All we want is to care for people. I know that we're going to be good neighbors. I know that if things hit the fan, I'll give you my last grain of rice. And it shouldn't be this hard. It really shouldn't be this hard. So, anyway, God bless you all. Please keep praying for us. That's Cindy. Bye-bye.